Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl's also nervous, 'cause you had a bit of shock last week, didn't you?
Just a little bit.
His dad tuned in.
To the show?
Yeah. And Karl's never told him that he actually speaks on the show. He just said, I just press the buttons, right? He's kept him from it. You used to do radio before and you never told him, did you? It's because of the little donkey incident.
Yeah.
When he went along, so...
Was that the twat incident?
Yeah. And so he's never told him since, but they've promised not to listen, haven't they?
Well, my dad said, my mum said to me, don't worry, don't be put off this week, because, you know, I've told him he can't listen, but I hear my dad in the background kinda going, Alex. So, he might be listening. So that's extra pressure. Plus a camera crew in.
I know. You don't like it, do you?
This is good training for MTV, because then he can watch you on TV. I mean, what's he gonna make of that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he know you're bald?
Yeah.
You don't keep your hat on when you're with him and say, oh no, I'll just press the buttons.
No, it's just, you know, it's like when I was in any plays, I didn't tell him.
No.
Any sort of parents' evening, I never gave him the note.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did the teachers think? You were just an orphan?
No, just on an off chance. My mate's dad spoke to me dad once, I think, and sort of said, oh, you going to school to see how, you know, your kid's doing? Is that what you're talking about? So there's a parents' evening, so he went
said, what kid?
He went to one, and that's when Mrs. Matthews said I'd never be a high flyer.
How wrong was she? Yeah. Well, I think we should call Mrs. Matthews and make her eat her words.
Well.
She'd turn on to MTV when, I don't know, like their slamming session.
Yeah.
And they're go, that's young Pilkington. He's bald, but it's definitely him.
I recognise that woolly hat.
Do you know why people tink the glasses before they have a drink?
Why they tink, the verb to tink.
I do know that, Karl. Is it about poison?
It is.
Here we are.
What, would it make a different noise?
Nope.
Brilliant. Go on, explain
Why?
it.
You explain it, Steve.
No, don't Steve, you explain it, Karl. Go on,
Oh,
I've started so I'll finish. Come on, Karl, explain why they tink the glasses.
Ages ago,
Yeah.
only people with money had drinking or something.
That's like one of my film reviews! Years ago, welcome to History Now. Now, ages ago, only people with money had drinking or something.
Keep going, Karl.
Keep going.
Like spirit and stuff, so they'd, it's like businessmen with money.
It's easy for you to say. This is getting to be cruel, isn't it?
This is amazing.
Yeah, go on.
Why did you open your mouth, Karl? What were you hoping was the best that could happen?
Because you were trying to make me look stupid before with the planet, so
Whereas you know!
Yeah, go on, no, come on. Businessmen with money, I've got to drink, I'm ching. Okay, so then, with all the drink...
So they'd nip round to have a chat about whatever they're earning money with. And they'd say, right, do you want a drink then? And they'd go, oh yeah, that'd be alright.
Yeah.
So, rather than like, just pouring it out of a bottle into a glass and saying, there you go, it could be going, hang on a minute, it could be poisoning me here and trying to like, nick my business idea.
Yeah.
So what they'd do, it'd sort of pour a bit of his drink into the other person's glass and you get that tink noise. And that's like, cheers, you know.
No, Karl, I've just a slight amendment there. I think what it was you're absolutely right that they would then test each other's drinks to show that it wasn't poison. But over the years, that was reduced to just chinking the glasses by way of saying, let's not actually bother going through the whole rigmarole. They just did the chinking of the glasses.
Yeah,
as a kind of symbolic way of saying it.
Yeah, that's good.
Whew. It was exhausting though, wasn't it?
I know.
Was it worth it, do you think?
Well, I like that, because people will carry that with them now. When they do that, they'll think, oh, that bloke's definitely not trying to poison me.
Yeah.
So the horrible thing is that now, when I do the glasses, I can laugh and go, they don't know I've poisoned them.
Exactly.
You should always do the pouring back and forth. It's a shortcut, it's a slippery slope. You know, just be careful.
No one's used that method since. I know. Because it was effective there, but you don't hear about that now. People using all kinds of elaborate methods to assassinate people, poisoning their wine.
Yeah.
I think that was Rasputin. As I recall, they put some poison into his wine.
Well, they didn't.
I didn't study it in history class. That's my memory of it.
But if only listened to Karl last week, chink the glasses.
Always chink the glasses.
That shows that they used to test it, didn't they? Pour a little bit from yours into mine. That means I'm not poisoning you.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking of murdering someone, you know,
Just
a dignitary
with a gun.
Yeah, but let's
Pop
say
a hanky over it.
Just think about that.
Just pop a hanky over
Oh, I don't know. Pop it inside an oven glove. and just wear that as you go to shake their hands.
Or sooty.
Or one of those big gladiator-style pointing foam hands that used to have on gladiators.
Yeah.
That would be genius.
Yeah.
I'm just using this because I love the
No
president.
gun in there, is there? No.
It's just a big finger.
Check if you want.
Yeah.
Well, no, we won't then if you said check. Right? That's
Do you know, have I ever told you my method, Carl, my genius method of assassinating someone? This is brilliant. This is the ultimate crime.
Oh,
Is this the ice cube one?
Have I told it to you before?
No, but I know that.
What's
that
the
the
ice
one?
cube one?
When you
shoot an ice bullet.
you get someone round.
Rick, don't say it, don't reveal it, because it's my story to tell.
Oh,
Blabbing
there's
it out.
two. I know two of them.
Well, listen, let me tell you it and see if this is the one, right? This is genius. Right, you rent a room across the street from the person you want to kill, right? And then when their window's open one day, right, what you've done is you've made an arrow from ice, okay? And then what you do is you train, like, to become a brilliant marksman with a bow and arrow.
It's an old one.
It is brilliant, but this is why it's classic. And then you shoot them with the arrow, it goes across the street, into their heart, kills them instantly, but what's brilliant is, the arrow, the murder weapon, it then melts, dries out, there's no murder weapon. And then you can take apart the bow.
Another one, Steve,
They
is
did
to
that
stab
on
them, then take it out and walk away.
No,
Same, no murder weapon.
No, but there's but you've got to get into the building. This is the point, you're across the street. Right. The only thing that could get you is if someone saw you shooting an arrow out
What
the
about
window.
an arrow on a string?
Arrow on a string? What are you talking about? No, not an arrow on a string, because that's not going to work. What if the string broke as you were trying to loot?
Good point.
No, Rick,
No, the ice arrow is the only way. The ice arrow is the only perfect method of assassination.
That was on Columbo.
Was it?
But there's another one. Do you know, like I was saying about the
murder weapon's irrelevant, Steve.
What?
The fact that it's a murder weapon, that is irrelevant.
No, because there are fingerprints on it and stuff.
You're having a laugh, Rick. I defy you to win.
There's no fingerprints on a bullet when it goes through your head at 12,000
miles an hour. They can trace it to the same gun, can't they? They can figure that out.
Throw the gun away!
No, but they'll find the gun. They always find the gun.
Burn it!
No, you can't burn a gun. Rick, my point is...
Melt it.
No, the point is his fingerprints and stuff.
Well, no, wipe it.
Ricky, never
Wear
try and kill
gloves.
someone.
Wear gloves.
They'll catch up with you.
They'll always catch up
Will
with you.
they? Oh, I won't then.
The ice arrow is the only way.
No,
The ice arrow
I bet that was the one case that Columbo didn't solve.
That's one of them. The other one is, do you know I was saying the other week about the drinks and you chink your glasses and stuff?
Yeah.
A way around that, put the poison in the ice cube. You quickly have a swig before it's melted.
Before it's
and they'll
melted.
go, that's alright, I can drink that, it's not dangerous. Just say, oh, I'm going to show you some pictures or something. Let the ice cube melt, the poison goes in the drink, you say, oh, knock that back.
Yeah.
You look thirsty, they'll have it, they'll die.
Genius.
That is good.
Carl, you and I, man, we're like criminal masterminds.
Yeah.
All
What
right?
happens when they find the poison in the body and go, well, he was at Carl's house drinking, it might have been...
You'd have legged it.
Oh, yeah.
He'd have been off with his missus and like £30,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
So that's perfect as well, is
That
it?
is the perfect crime,
So
Rick.
it's, hold on, are all perfect crimes to do with ice?
Pretty much.
Well, well, well.
07 distractions, very nice. Yes, I approve of that, Carl. Good choice there. Now, Steve.
Yes.
Carl came round to my flat.
Mm.
It was Tuesday night, wasn't it?
Nice place.
Now, thanks. Now, last week after the show, I think you guys were in the time you were in the toilet. Right, Carl got out the lottery ticket that he'd bought. He went, "I'm feeling really confident tonight." He was going. I was going. I laughed. He went, "No, seriously." He said, "Look at the numbers." And I looked at them, and I think they were 4, 6, 8, 20, 36, 48, weren't they? He was going, "I just got a feeling about those." I went, "Sure." He went, "Although, you know, my girlfriend said that, you know, if I won the lottery, we'd probably split up because we like such different things, meaning she likes to travel and he doesn't." And so he said, so what I said was, "Well, if I win, then I won't tell you. I'll just treat you a little bit more." Brilliant.
That's brilliant logic.
That is great. Anyway.
I'll look after her.
Oh, I imagine you take care of her, yeah. Yeah, you're a good guy. How would you do it then? You just sneak little gifts in, slowly over many years.
Yeah.
You don't think she'd rumble the fact that you, like, don't work anymore and drive a Lamborghini?
Well, I'd still do this, I think.
What, just, like, as a kind of beard, as a cover story?
Yeah, just pop
So
it
you'd
in.
pretend to come to work, but maybe off partying and stuff in the daytime?
Yeah.
Clever.
Now, he didn't win.
Okay.
I phoned him up Saturday night, he went, one number. One number. I think it was 8, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
well, there was a lot of 8s on my piece of paper, weren't they? So I think it was either an 8 or an 18 or a 48.
And he was disappointed. He said, waste of time. I went, well, he said, no, waste of time. He said, I've worked it out. I went, go on. He went, there are 26 letters in the alphabet. I went, yeah. He went, think how many words you can make out of them. He went, there are 48 numbers on the lottery. I went, yeah, 60 million to 1. He went, yeah. Not worth it.
I looked into that in the week, right? And there's even less letters in the Welsh alphabet. They've only got 20. And yet they've got loads of words as well. So even 20, the chances, if there was 20 numbers and you had to pick 6 winners, it'd still be really...
Unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You should be a mathematician. And anyway, so we got talking about it. We got talking. That was me, him, and Jane right there. And I told Jane that he said about, oh, if you won the lottery, no, he doesn't like travel. And she went, why do you like travelling? And he went, well, I don't like planes. I'm really scared of planes and that. And she went, well, if you won the lottery, you could have a world cruise. And he went, no. She went, you don't fancy? I went, no. He said, if you go on a world cruise, what do you do next year?
Oh,
Genius.
it's brilliant logic, Carl.
It's
But
great.
you know, on the world cruise, you don't actually see the whole world. I mean, you.
And if you did, it's not like saying, well, I don't want to see that twice. Do you know what I mean?
The world.
It is the world. It's a lot. It's a lot to see. And
Did it never dawn on you before about the numbers in the lottery? Have you been playing this for years and thinking that you had a good chance, that it was just like you and a handful of other people that were doing it?
Just as much chance as everyone else, but then when you actually sit down and think about
Sure.
what you're doing.
He's done it again this week.
Tough one.
He went, I'm doing it one more time, and he showed me the numbers, and he went, they look a bit more healthy, don't they? Oh.
What numbers are you going for this week?
It's alright laughing, but we'll see tonight.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Let's have a look.
You know, if people do this and they win, if you take these out and people do these, you'll have to share it with someone. It's alright though, isn't it? Give them a chance. Tell them give people a clue. What numbers are you doing, Carl?
No, I'm not going to tell them all. I'll give you 4. I've got 5, 9, 12, and 26.
Okay.
You're not going to give us the other two?
No, because that's a big difference, isn't it?
What are the...
4's worth about 8 grand in it, but if I give them the other 2 and it wins,
Yeah. What are those 4 numbers again?
5, 9, 12, 26.
And also, Carl's lottery numbers. He's a little bit more confident this week.
Okay, good.
He went there more like it, and I looked at him and I laughed. He went, no, even Suzanne said I'm on more on the right lines there. Is anyone who has done a degree in maths or A-level maths that can bear... Carl won't believe this, right? Carl thinks... I know I was partly doing it to confuse him, just see that look on his face like a cat, right? But there is the chances... with a random numbers, for example the lottery, of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are no greater than any other single combination.
Right.
Now that's true. I don't mean you're more likely to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 than any other combination put together, but than any other individual combination, they're all equal. It's counterintuitive, I know. I know you think that to get a run of 1 to 6 is less likely than anything else, but it's not. Any named combination... It's not, Carl. If there's a probability...
Well, it's never happened. Yeah, it's never happened.
Yeah, but there's any number of combinations that have
never happened. Every one of those combinations that have come up have happened, and they're just as likely or unlikely as any other combination, right? It's just that you feel intuitively, right, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is less likely than 1, 7, 12, 34, 60. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't win.
Play record.
Okay.
What else has happened since we met? 2002. Gay marriages. That's kicked in. Thoughts?
They've happened. Are they popular though? I mean...
Well, amongst gay people who want to get married, they're very popular, I imagine.
What's the point of it?
You know, I suppose they want to feel that there's an equality.
But is it just one of them things where they wanted it because they can't have it? You know what I mean?
I think any excuse for a fancy dress. They like to dress up. They love a press tent.
See, I just don't understand. I mean, whose name do they use? Whose surname do they go with?
I don't know.
There's a problem. Just creating problems. I always say that. Any problem solved is a new problem made.
Gobbledygook.
Always said
Any
that.
problem solved is a new problem made.
Yeah. Like I said that time when I was in hospital, and, you know, I remember in the 80s everyone was going, oh, there's not enough hospital beds and all that. When I was in hospital with, kidney stones.
Yeah.
Loads of beds, not enough pillars. So that's the way it worked. It sorted out the bed problem. They give me a bed at night. I was going, I haven't got a pillar. You had to go off and get one. Brought it back, it was still warm.
Oh. That has been really
Under a dead head. So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, you get all the beds, new problem, where's the pillars? Don't solve problems.
Don't solve problems. Brilliant.
What do you make of the, this big problem in the church, not wanting, gay people to be priests? Does that concern you?
No.
No.
It's a problem if you're gay, and it's a problem if you go to church and you don't like gays, but I don't go to church, and I'm not gay. There's certain problems that just go over your head.
If you were gay, Carl, what would you do?
Well, I'll do what all gays do, I suppose.
What's that?
Whatever it is they do. I'm just saying...
Well, you don't just say, what if you didn't?
Well, I'm not gay, so I don't know.
So, getting, gay marriage, would you, ever go through with that?
What if I was gay?
Well...
It's hard to answer, isn't it? How can I answer it if I'm not gay? I don't know what I'd do.
Well, no,
I might not
okay.
look like this. I'd look totally different if I was gay.
Why?
Even though it's me mum's what's it and me dad's cheers or whatever, I'd look different because gays do. You make more of an effort. Look at me. I won't survive as a gay man. Maybe that's why I'm not one.
Right, Carl, I'm going to give you a scenario though, okay? I'm going to test. Would you rather, so you're not gay, okay, this is the real you, right? Someone put a gun to your head and go, right, okay, Carl, you've either got to marry a little gay fella, there's a little fella here, he loves you, he's liked you for a long time. He goes, hello, Carl. You go, alright, mate. He's a lovely bloke. I think he lives in Brighton. I think he's in advertising.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Very
got a
surprising.
sports car. He's smart. He looks lovely. Pink shirt, white suit. He's great. He's very popular. Got tints. It always looks good. Right, lovely tan. He's about 38.
What's his name?
His name is Graham.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. And he goes, hello, Carl. And you go, all right, Graham. And someone suddenly bursts in and goes, right, you've either got to marry Graham. He puts a gun to your head. He goes, right, you've either got to marry Graham, okay? You've got to tell all your family.
Well, no, I'm not going to marry him, am I?
What? Whoa, you know the choices.
Well, I know one of the choices, and I'm not happy with that choice, so you go with whatever else.
Well, no.
So what's the other option, Rick?
Okay. So you marry Graham and
I won't be marrying Graham.
you do all the things in the bedroom.
Why's that happening?
Well, you're married now.
You're married now and he wants to consummate the marriage. He loves
Even
you.
under marriage, you can't do that, can you? You can say, hang on a minute.
Well, no.
I don't know why you've married Graham.
No, but you want him to be happy. You want him to be happy. He's giving you a lovely house.
Yeah, but I'd say, Graham, hang on a minute, you know the score. I'm not into this.
No,
I
he
went along
doesn't
with it
know.
because you didn't want a bullet in your head.
No.
Now, if you love me, will you stop doing that?
Stop doing what?
What are you doing in the bedroom?
Well, no, just, you have a lovely life. You do your own thing. You do this, right? Podcast, do your little books and that. Little, and Graham goes off, he does his, and he comes back, he goes, oh, I've had a day. You go, what's the matter, Graham? And you just sort of massage him, he's just like, you go, oh.
I'll go with the other option.
Well, wait, Carl! So you're going, oh, God, he used to have made you some pork chop. He goes, oh, you're a darling, right?
It wouldn't work, though, because you're putting two people together who don't want to be together.
Well, Graham wants to be with you.
Yeah, Graham loves
but
you.
Relationship's two-way, innit? And this is a made-up man, and I know I don't like him.
That's just homophobic.
No, it's not. He's annoying me.
Why? He's a lovely
Why
guy.
is he annoying you?
Just the way he looks after his body. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he's tanning it, he's having a massage. I wouldn't be doing all that, so it wouldn't last. The relationship wouldn't work.
He's
But
talking
it's
to you,
yin
he's
and
not getting
yang.
well.
No, it doesn't work.
Opposites attract, okay?
Not to
And
that point, it doesn't.
He's good to you. He's really, though, he's, oh God, he's faithful.
He's got a good job.
He's got a really good job. You get invited to really nice parties.
It's just him. I don't like him.
Well,
he's painted
no,
a
that's a
bad
shame.
picture.
He absolutely
such a
loves
fan of
you.
you. He is
That
such a fan of
happens,
you.
doesn't it? It happens that I remember
Right.
being at school with a girl who really liked me, and I was like, "It's not going to happen, Sharon."
No,
Didn't happen.
the first.
And that's
day-
Sharon, not Graham. So the chances of me letting this Graham move in.
Well, you've moved in with him, right? He's got a lovely, bigger, got a 6-bedroom house. Of
course he has.
And, you move in with him, right? For first day you go, oh, I'm not happy with this, because you're thinking, oh my God, First day in marriage, what's it gonna go? He goes off, he gives you a peck on the
What's
head.
the option?
Well,
What's
wait!
the other choice?
Well, you don't know! Yeah, okay. So he comes home, he goes, oh, he's bought you a lovely little ankle bracelet.
Oh, that's sweet of him.
With Karl. Karl love...
Graham, I need a word.
I go, what is it? What's up, love? What's the matter? God, I'll be Graham. Right, okay. I'll be Graham. What's the matter? You look tense.
This is all, we're living a lie here.
Well, yeah, but it's just the alternative is so much worse.
What's the alternative?
Well,
What is the alternative, Rick? I think we're all waiting for that.
well, marry a chimp.
Marry a chimp.
Yeah. Unless you either live with a chimp in a tree or marry Graham, your family are going to get killed. Someone's going to shoot them, right? So you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to go and live in a tree with a chimp and eat nothing but bananas and just live the chimp world? Okay.
Yeah.
Or woo Graham. You go down there, you're chatting to him, you're just in a club, right? You're there.
But who's watching that I'm staying with
Whoever
Graham all
this
the
evil
time?
The person is right, yes, yeah.
Well, hang
But
on,
where's he watching from?
The evil person's going, right, he goes to that club Saturday nights. Don't bother going before midnight. He won't be there. Right? So you get there, you walk in there, it's 1 AM, and he goes, that's him over there, in the pink shirt dancing. Okay?
Right, he wouldn't like me.
He would. You go, no, you go,
Well, this is it, you've got to
hey,
win him over.
Look at you! Look at your lovely shaved head, hairy arms. Oh my God. I mean, you are more suited to the chimp, but now you'll go down a storm, right? You go down there, you've got a little vest on, leather trousers.
What would you say to Graham? You've got to go over.
You've got a bought leather pair of trousers and you've cut out the back. Okay? There you go in. Your arse is showing. You've got a freshly shaved head. You've got a little white vest. Okay?
Has he got all this on?
No, he's got like a little pink Ben Sherman, white trousers and espadrilles.
Right, I'd dance over.
Yeah?
I'd say, you Graham, and go, yeah.
Oh, hello. Who are you?
So never mind, you haven't seen a chimp about, have you?
Oh, yeah, I just feel bad about Graham. I feel sorry for Graham.
Don't feel sorry for
Well,
Graham.
he was a nice guy and he
He was so badly treated.
took you into his home. He was going to give you everything and you just didn't appreciate and was saving your family's life. And you just...
Yeah, but I went for the other option. There's no point. All I'd be doing is letting Graham down. And as much as I didn't like him, I don't want to ruin his
I
life.
don't know why you didn't like him.
He was just not my type.
He's a
you
lovely
know,
guy.
He wasn't a lovely guy.
You didn't give
Why
him
wasn't he a
enough
lovely
time.
guy?
Just his ways, you know. I mean, you bond with some people, you don't with others. It had nothing to do with him.
You barely even had a
Being
conversation with him.
Yeah, but you click straight away with people, don't you? You know when you meet someone, you go, yeah, they're all right. It wasn't going to work. If I was to go out with a gay man, Graham wouldn't be the one.
Who would be?
Who would be?
Just someone who wasn't as in your face as him.
Well, which
Just
celebrity?
someone,
What do you mean in your face? What?
just sort of, you know, just the way he was straight away. I wouldn't go to a club to meet someone like that. I wouldn't. Because I don't like doing that as a straight man. So just because I'm gay, I don't suddenly get into house
Well,
music.
if you were going to be gay, what gay man would you want to marry?
Probably someone who you don't know is gay.
I don't know what that means.
Someone who's just quiet about it, just get on with it.
So if you were gay, you'd like a sort of straight man.
No, because that's not going to work either, is it? That was my situation with Graham.
But how do you know how would you, if you were gay, why would you approach someone who didn't know was gay?
Well, so if you're gay, the only gay life you can do is by going to a club where it's a racket at 4 in the morning and meeting someone.
No.
Right then, so that's what
But
I'm saying.
who would be your ideal partner if you were gay? Who would you like?
There'll be someone who I don't know who's gay, innit?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean it was someone who you don't know?
Because
is gay?
I wouldn't go out with someone who's really like, oh, hello, and all that, with the shirt open, the
Why
tan.
not?
Because that's the equivalent of going out with a woman who's got knickers up her arse, and, you know, it's the equivalent. It's the in-your-face woman and the in-your-face man. I don't want any of you.
Well, who do you want?
Well, who was your
Someone
sort of
normal.
guy? Okay, well, just say what your sort of guy is then. Do you want him to be sort of like a man's man, sort of goes, you know, slap, he sort of like, when you go to do something, you go, you dopey idiot, and he just sort of gives you...
No, I don't want that.
No, you want someone to go, oh, what's the matter with you? Do you want yourself
you
better?
see, it's that,
Well, what do you want?
What do you mean,
I'm asking you what you want.
Petal. I don't
Yeah,
want
what do you
any of
want
that.
in a man? I'm asking you what
The
you want.
ones who are just normal, who just talk, they'll go, alright, Carl, how's it going? Yeah, I'm alright, mate, yeah, I'm good.
Right,
What
okay.
are we doing tonight? Watching Die Hard, if you want. Go straight to bed after that? Yeah.
Oh, now he's straight in bed! I love the fact he went from, like, not being sure to just, like, getting a man.
But not great. It wouldn't be 4 in the morning. I'd be living my life as I am now.
Right.
But I'd be a gay man.
Yeah, okay, so
Because I'm me, aren't I? So that's not going to change.
No. Why would it? No, so I'm just trying to... Carl, all we're trying to establish what sort of guy you go for. Okay, we've settled that. If, sorry about, if any, people feel sorry for Graham, sorry about that, but, that's...
Rick, listen, we often get a lot of email correspondence during the show, Rick, which I don't sort of pass on to you because, I mean, you're busy, you're planning the show and stuff, you've got a lot of ideas, you've got music and stuff to worry about. So I check the emails, and we get a lot of response, a lot of people obviously, you know, want to give us feedback. Just a sample one, from Richard Anderson. He's just emailed us in here, Rick, because he's been listening to the show. He says, Ricky, your show is appalling. Are you actually aware you're on the radio, or has someone just secretly stuck a microphone on you? That's from Richard Anderson. So that's typical of the kind of feedback, Rick, we're getting today. So
is that good, is it?
So that's the kind of high positive praise that we're getting. So
I'm glad Anderson's listening because I wanted him. I was gunning for him as a fan.
I was worried that
early on in our career. So I think he's hooked now, though.
But thanks, Anders, for getting in touch. Dick Anderson's been back in touch.
Excellent.
I think so. He's obviously
we've turned him round. Well, he loves it now.
He's been tuning in.
He loves it now.
He says, Ricky, thanks for a really forgettable 2 hours of radio. I think I'll spend the time next week counting my feet. That's from Richard Anderson. So we've turned him round.
Do you know where the phrase "counting my feet" comes from? Well, in the olden days, right, and I'm talking ages ago, when you really loved something, you used to, as a sign of respect, like, say, a radio show, you'd count your feet. And that's where that comes from, Carl.
I'll tell you, our #1 fan has emailed again, I'm pleased to announce.
Who?
Richard Anderson, Dickie Anderson, he was in touch last week.
Is back. He loves this show.
He's such a fan of the show, and this week he's emailed in, what actually is the point of your show? Is it to confuse, irritate, depress, or what? All of those things, Dickie. Thanks for noticing.
Oh, he loves this show.
He's such a fan. He's such a fan.
He's
because last week, you remember, Carl, he emailed in to say that he'd rather spend his time counting his feet than listen to this show. Presumably he's done that. Yeah. And he's decided to email in.
Wonder how many feet.
Incredible. Yeah.
No, but he loves this show.
Yeah. So thanks, R.A. Thanks for listening.
See you later. What are you looking at?
Well, I was just looking at some of the emails, and if I can find it, I got an absolute treat from you.
Go on.
Dickie Anderson.
Is he,
Anders, he's emailed in
Richard Anderson, our biggest fan.
Biggest fan. He said, Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in recently, only I've been busy watching a puddle evaporate. Glad to hear you haven't tinkered with the show's winning formula by trying to introduce any quality into it. That's from, Richard Anderson. So, good to have Dickie Anderson listening again.
Oh,
because he just keeps us on our toes, you know.
Yeah.
And, good work, Rich. Thanks for that.
I wonder what he looks like.
Dickie Anderson?
Yeah.
I think he's a good-looking guy. For some reason, I've always imagined him as being slightly older, with maybe a beard.
Oh, no,
you know what I mean? Like
I think of him sort of cords and now and sweater.
Definitely cords.
I think he looks like, maybe the Proclaimers.
Yeah, but again, with a beard or at least a moustache.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm seeing some kind of facial hair.
And he's sort of like, he's sort of, he likes the Cure and the Swiss Nut, but, he snarls at everything. He thinks everything's pure.
Yeah.
I bet he prefers Radio 5.
Do you think Radio 5?
Yeah. 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And 4.
I bet he's a real music snob as well. I bet there's certain bands, it's like rubbish. The Blazing Squad, rubbish. All pop music, rubbish. Britney Spears, rubbish.
Is this defamation of character?
He slagged you off enough times, Rick, on the show. I don't know.
And I'm only saying it's my opinion, I imagine, so,
yeah, I mean, we don't know, I mean, you know, you could be a lovely guy.
To be honest, I'm getting to like him.
What I like about Richard is he's willing to say what he thinks.
Well, it's more than that.
He's a bit like Eminem.
No, it's more than that. He actually hits on the truth too often for my liking.
Yeah, well that's...
I mean, this is a shoddy show, with very, very little to offer. Is Anders listening? Well,
I'll tell you,
Dickie Anderson.
I've got an email from Richard Anderson, Dickie Anderson.
Go on.
The Dick Machine, which...
the big dick, which...
now this is interesting. I think we're wearing him down. Ricky, I think your show might be improving.
Go on.
That sense of despair and loneliness I normally feel when listening to your show doesn't seem so bad today.
He's desensitized to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Always given up.
Him down.
Always just given up. Yeah. I mean, you listen to this long enough and your standards will drop.
But yeah, Dickie Anderson, he's a guy, I'll be honest with you, he's not a big fan of the show. But well, we're getting to winning round. He says, dear Ricky, the more disappointing your show becomes, the more I seem to look forward to it. Now I see your face plastered across London. Is your show some sort of curse put on me by an old gypsy woman I've annoyed? You know, good point, Dickie, but,
Dickers.
but Randers, as I call it.
Yeah. He can't listen now, I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's tucked him in, he's backing into the fire as we speak, and he wants to roast them until they spit. Oh dear.
Oh.
Thanks for listening, Anders.
Thanks for and Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year.
And as you know, you got a lot to look forward to, because our first hour is always the best.
That's exactly
So you're going to be loving it till 3, cockers. Oh dear.
Last message from Anders, I suspect, for the day. He says, I've just roasted my chestnuts over an open fire. It's a lot more enjoyable than listening to your show.
He's
pretty snappy, is Anders.
Yeah,
you know, he keeps them coming, you know. It's a shame that, you know, that we sort of couldn't sort of maybe meet up with him and try and persuade him that, you know, he should come over to our side rather than, you know...
Come over to the side.
Exactly.
Yeah, come over to this side.
I think we've got him though, because
Do you think so?
Yeah, apparently they did this survey in America. People who loved Howard Stern listened to an average of like an hour and a half a week, and people who hated him listened 2.5 hours a week.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he's probably more faithful a listener
yes.
than some of the people that quite like us.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got to listen, I'm the same with some people, I've got to listen to things that I just think are awful, I can't. You know, it's compulsive viewing. So, you know, I don't care if people listen to us because they hate us or like us.
No, indeed, as long as they listen. Hey, I should just point out, because it's Christmas time, we've had an email from Dickie Anderson.
Oh, Dickers.
Yeah, RA is, well, he's, I suppose he's a long-time listener.
Yeah.
And he emails us most weeks. Ricky. If, as I suspect, I'm your only listener, I wouldn't bother with your show today, as I've got to attend some family Christmas nonsense at Auntie Marion's house. That's from Dickie Anderson, and he's good because considering he hates the show and everything we stand for, he does take the time to email every week.
That counts. That counts to advertisers.
Yeah.
I think we've got a lot like him.
Oasis, Supersonic, still good,
Still as good as ever.
Still good on XFM 104.9 with Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
You'll be pleased, Rick.
Go on.
Ricky Anderson has emailed in.
Dickers!
Danderson.
Oh,
Yeah,
what are you
he's,
doing, Dindo?
He's probably our biggest fan.
Diddler, you little diddler!
Exactly. He has emailed in, as ever. Ricky, your show fascinates me. How do you maintain such levels of senseless drivel? That's from Randy Anders.
Little diddle dodders!
Oh! So, thanks again,
Dudley.
for that, yep.
Well done, he's, yeah, that's great. I get a buzz. I was disappointed last week where he didn't, ask him why he's, didn't email us
He didn't respond last week, no, it's a shame.
Probably
that.
busy. I don't believe he had something better to do.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
I can't believe that of anyone.
No.
When,
No, on
you've
a
got
Saturday
this sort of
afternoon.
level.
Exactly.
Intense chat.
You mentioned earlier when we had our regular email from Dickie Anderson.
Yeah.
Randers, as I call him.
Dandy son.
Yeah. You mentioned it because we didn't get anything from him last week. We didn't get anything from him last week. Anyway, he's obviously listening. Rich, because he's emailed in to explain his absence. Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in last week. Only I was in HMV returning the 14 copies of The Office I got for Christmas. That's from Randers. So, he's explained himself.
Oh,
he's
dear.
excused himself.
Oh, Anders, we should get him on one day.
Yeah. Can I just say before we play a record that we've had an email from Dickie Anderson.
Dickers!
Richard Anderson.
Oh, Dickster, you Dicky Docky Dido, are ya?
If you're a new listener, then you won't have come across Richard before, but
he loves the show.
He's our biggest fan.
He's a bit of a, and he loves the show. He tapes it and listens back to it 4 or 5 times.
But the great thing about him is he's not afraid to offer a bit of constructive criticism.
Oh, well, yeah, go on, what's he said?
Well, all I'm going to say to you is he said, is it true that companies are now getting rid of hold music and are instead using your show to irritate their customers while they're waiting on the phone? I don't know. We'll look into that, Dickie, but thanks for that. Before we carry on with anything, I should just tell you, we're on the subject of emails. There's one emailer we're always looking forward to hearing from.
Dickers!
Richie Anderson!
You Dicky Docky Do!
Richard Anderson, thanks for emailing.
He's my biggest fan.
He's
now.
one of the biggest
he
fans.
Absolutely loves me.
But not afraid to offer some constructive criticism.
Go on,
That's the
what's he
great
said?
thing about Dickie. And from Anders this week, he says, Ricky, I'm lazy, I talk nonsense, I'm badly organised, and I believe in ghosts. Can I have a job working on your show? Possibly, Anders. Maybe send in a CV. Or email a CV.
He's put a little bit of all of us in that, hasn't he? Oh, I'll ask him if he's a goggle-eyed freak, Steve.
Alright, calm down.
Well, no, I didn't mean
there's no need to get insulted.
No, I didn't necessarily mean you, did I?
To get nasty. This is ludicrous, yeah. So, obviously, Richard Anderson, he's emailed in his thoughts. Dickie Anders, Randy Anders.
You. Dickmeister General.
And he says there's something making... Have we got it clear? He says, there's something making strange yelping noises in the thicket at the end of my garden. Shall I go and prod it to see if it's Carl? Let me just tell you what Dick has said. He said, Richard Anderson, he also said, P.S. the show's still rubbish without Carl.
Still rubbish without Carl. Now, is that a compliment? It's still rubbish without Carl. Which suggests he thought it might be better without Carl?
No, I think he means it's equally rubbish.
Right. Brilliant.
Nothing changes.
Thanks, Dickers.
Yeah, he's
nothing Dickmeister.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't think our number one fan, Dickie Anderson, Richard Anders, was on the panel. Although he here has emailed in. He's got a couple of thoughts as to maybe why we.
What is Dickers doing, man?
Dickers says commiserations on not winning a Sony. I can't believe you didn't win. Naturally. I mean, apart from your show's obvious lack of quality and effort, having a monkey for a producer, offering the biggest load of tat as competition prizes, saying hairy Chinese kid 48 times every show, Rockbusters, not bothering to turn up for weeks on end, only having 3 listeners, introducing the comedy characters Camp David, Harry Fook, which I think he spelt wrong there, Stephen Merchant. I'm not a character. Apart from insulting every race, religion and sexual orientation, bickering like schoolgirls,
We haven't done everyone yet. We have not insulted everyone yet. There's loads to go.
Despite the fact you generally bring misery into the lives of anyone who listens, I thought you were surefire winners. Better luck next year.
Well,
I mean, a couple of constructive, criticisms there, but generally, I still can't nail it.
Was he on the panel?
Well, I don't think so. Well, he's a fan, so.
Yeah. Well, no, he's clearly a fan. I mean, he obviously loves the show.
No, I know I shouldn't. But I met Carl in the week against Steve.
I told you shouldn't do
I
this,
know.
you should
But
wait
then when
till
he starts saying things like, oh, is this loud with the people? I go, no, save it, and we just sit there and I'm scared to talk in case he comes up. But, you did tell me a couple of little things, didn't you? True stories that, I enjoy. Can you tell, Steve about the doctor?
Right.
Oh, God. Is this something that happened to a friend of yours, or is this,
No, I read about it.
You read about it, okay.
There's this little lad, right?
Okay.
First of all, it's years ago, right? When they didn't have decent doctors in, like, every town and that.
Yeah.
And, this little kid is dead ill, right?
Yeah.
And the local doctor...
Well, there's a phone call involved, so I don't really get the impression that it's, like, medieval
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't say that, I just said it's years ago.
Go on,
so this kid's ill, right? Yeah. And he's lying in the bed, and, he's all going funny colour and that.
Yeah.
And his mum says, I'm gonna get the local doctor round. The local doctor comes round, and, says, I don't know what's up with him. He said, leave it with me.
Leave it with me?
He said,
the doctor said that?
I'll have, he said, I'll phone up, a top doctor.
Okay.
Who was in America or somewhere like that. Yeah. And, so he goes to the phone in his office and he calls America, and because it's years ago, the phone line isn't that good, it's all crackly and that, right? So he's talking to the doctor and he's saying, I've got this kid, he's a funny colour, and, he's really weak and that. I don't know what's
He's not giving him much to go on.
Right?
Sure.
So the American doctor, right?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, what you want to do? And it's all breaking up, right? Yeah. He goes, what you gotta do, you gotta, it's all breaking up. You've got to give him some, parrot's blood. Right?
Some parrot's blood?
Well, that's what he thought he said, but the line was really bad. Yeah. He meant parent's blood, but he heard that he said parrot's blood. He said, right, I'll do that, leave it with me.
I can see where this is going.
He goes to, a pet shop.
Yeah.
He says, give us like half a dozen parrots.
Sure.
Takes them round to the kid's house, takes the blood from the parrots, puts it into the kid's fine.
The kid's fine?
I've never
it worked.
Such a load of shite in my life. I've never heard such twaddle, such just made up, enhanced, exaggerated in my life.
A load of old rubbish, Carl.
I mean, when he told me this, he said, the doctor said, what do I do? And the doctor on the other end said, give him some blood. And the doctor went, where do I get blood from?
So hang on, wait, I just need to
Where do I get blood from? From his, give him some parents' blood. Give him some parents' blood. Give him some parents' blood. Yeah.
But hang on, I just need to know where you read this.
Carl.
Where was this? Where did
I
you read
stitched
this?
you up. You know when he said, so do you believe it? I went, tell it to Steve. He went, do you believe it? I went, tell it to Steve. Carl.
But where did you read it?
That was on the internet.
What?
About
Where is it on the
illnesses.
internet?
I'm always looking at stuff. I was looking at stuff this morning because of Yoragella last night. eating all that funny food and that, and also they all got a bit scared last night, didn't they, with a snake?
I didn't see that. So is this I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here?
Yeah, he got all worried about a snake getting on the sort of wandering about in between the sleeping bags and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were all scared, and it is so easy.
Leave it with me. Sorry, the doctor says, leave it with me. Yeah. Leave it with me.
Well, they were all scared because there's a snake, and it's so easy to find stuff out. Before they, where are they? Where is this jungle?
Australia, I
Right.
think.
Before they went, give it half an hour on the internet. I found out with snakes, you don't need to worry, right? They're deaf. They haven't got any ears.
Right.
So as long as you're really quiet,
Creep
it'll,
around,
it'll
yeah.
probably leave you alone.
Yep.
And also, they don't have eyelids. So they were suggesting if one's coming towards you, just like kick sand in its eyes, because it can't blink, and it leaves it a bit like annoyed, and it wanders off. But they didn't do any research before they went.
Yeah.
And that's
I think your knowledge would hold you in good stead. I don't think you need to know any more than you know. This doctor, I mean, we should find out who he is, really, and if he's still practicing, because it worries me a little bit that he, you know, he did that. Also, I mean, he thinks he's got away with it, but how could he be sure those parrots wouldn't talk?
True.
Do you know what I mean? There were 6 of them. They probably got together and they probably put it on the internet.
I mean, I feel that story, Carl, it asks more questions than it answers.
Yeah,
really.
Like most of your stories.
Yeah, that's the problem. I always feel like I need a little bit more information. Like, did the parrot boy continue to live?
Yeah.
You know, to a ripe old age, or did he die weeks later after this charlatan doctor who was going around, you know, spurious
Did he break his nose trying to crack a big nut?
no, I think he was all right. He lived to a.
See, I'd have shouted, if I was that doctor, I'd have shouted that down the phone. Are you sure you said parrot's blood?
Yeah.
You sure it was parrot's blood?
Listen, I mean, you know, I'm not the best doctor in the world, but did you say parrot's blood?
Yeah, but what you're forgetting is you're going back to the time where, like, they used leeches to do, like,
No, we're
transfusions.
not. We're going back to the late 70s if there's a phone call to America Direct.
Come on, Carl, they weren't calling America, like, in the medieval times or in the Victorian age. Come on, think about it, Carl.
Yeah.
You know, this has got to be like the like, you know, 30s or 40s, at the earliest. You know?
Right.
I'm intrigued to know where this. I think there's someone on the web who's just putting information on there to lead you astray.
Yeah.
Because you're the only person who finds this stuff. Other people are using this to write theses.
What were you looking up that then? What were you looking?
I always look at weird stuff.
What were you looking for?
But what do you type in the search engine to find parrot blood stories?
What were you looking for?
There was this woman with a weird head.
Why were you looking for that? What were you
Just because I'd heard about it. I'd heard, like, someone talking about it on another station.
Right.
About this woman with a funny head.
Right. I love the fact you're intrigued with these things. You go in the basement of Waterstones or Dillon's or somewhere, and there's these medical books that you'll love them,
Yeah,
mate.
but this is free on the internet, isn't it? It's all there.
Yeah.
So what you typed in? Weird head woman or
lady with head?
yeah.
Weird people or something I put in.
Sure.
Yeah.
That
Did
came up.
you come up?
7,000 hits, Karl Pilkington.
During that track, I'm chilling out, I'm loving it, aren't I? Carl goes, do you know how baguettes came about?
Do you know how baguettes come about?
I went, go on, and Steve went, no, save it.
Wait a minute though, I'm thinking, Rick, people are going to be desperate to know the answer to that. Why don't we play some ads and some music and stuff?
It's like a cliffhanger.
Exactly. How did baguettes come about?
Whatever he says is going to be good, isn't
Stay
it?
tuned to XFM to find out. The reason you became king of the universe, of course, is because of your fascinating French bread anecdote.
Oh yeah, yeah. Come
What's
on
the
then. What? How did baguettes come about? If this is going to be someone cooked a loaf a bit wrong and said, I can still make a sandwich out of it, I'm going to hit you.
that it?
No.
Go on then.
Right. Napoleon, when he was at war and that with Russia.
1812, yeah.
Yeah, all these soldiers were like, you know, not used to the cold weather and that. So they said, take some clothes in your bag with you because it's going to be nippy out there. So they put all the clothes in the bag.
Sure.
They were told. It's Napoleon, for Christ's sake.
No room for any food.
No
You're joking.
So
couldn't they make some sort of like sandwich?
No, it wouldn't fit because of all the clothes. You had to take extra gear.
Sure.
So anyway, he
I
said,
can see where this is going.
Is there a baguette-shaped gap left in their holdall?
They thought, let's make some bread that you can fit down your trouser leg.
What?
That's not true! No, it's not,
I read it in Euston train station. I was waiting to go back to Manchester.
Where did you read
What,
these?
scrawled on the wall in graffiti?
Yeah.
Do you know the
Was it also meet me here for cock fun at 12 o'clock?
The upper crust sandwich shop, Euston station. It's on the wall.
What do you mean it's on the wall?
Do you know how it says, like, sail on at Dixon's, whatever?
Yeah.
Next to that, there was, like, a bit of information. Once you've read the stuff on Dixon's...
Baguette information.
There was a big thing about history of the baguette. I read it and I thought,
We gotta make a sandwich we can fit down our trouser leg.
But how can you march and fight with a huge piece of bread down your train?
Although it would be intimidating. You see them coming, you go, sacre bleu, look at the size of them. They're big fellas. Well,
Blimey. I can't help but feel that could be a practical joke at your expense.
yeah.
wouldn't do that.
Well, the Earl of
Do you
Sandwich...
ever question anything you read? If it's printed up, is that,
Yeah.
like, fact for you then?
Well, it's not funny. I mean, if they were trying to be funny, it's like... it's not, is it? So it's information.
Have you heard us? Things sometimes want to be funny when they're not.
That's exactly what happened with the sandwich. The Earl of Sandwich wanted something he could fit down his pants. And it was those triangle cut sandwiches wrapped in cling film were perfect. You might be right. You might be right.
I am.
Because the Cornish pasty, so they could drop it down the mines, isn't it?
Is it?
They wrapped it up they wrapped up like meat and vegetables in pastry, and they sort of crimped it, and it was like and they dropped it down the mine, so... Yeah, that's how that came about.
And bagels were originally made so that people could play hoopla, but then eat afterwards. I don't know if you're aware of that. That is true, Carl.
Well, anyway.
Like Call My Bluff. Is one of them true?
Yeah.
They're all true.
They're all true.
Yeah.
Tell your kids that when you have them.
Yeah.
You know, if they're still alive in a million years.
Well, it might be true. Can someone confirm that baguette fact that it was so Napoleon could stick it down
Not him.
his trousers? Not him, his soldiers.
His men.
Yeah.
Fascinating information. Fascinating bread information, Carl.
Radiohead.
Yeah, now this is my song for the lovers. It's a beautiful track. It's Let Down off OK Computer. It's one of my favourite Radiohead tracks. It's lovely. Right, set the tape going now if you want to tape these songs. Avalanches, frontier psychiatrists.
Absolutely.
Well, we've had lots of emails. People, obviously, we inflamed and provoked
Well,
about
actually, I have to say,
the Cornish pasty. I've got a couple of amendments to that. The crusty bit, you know, is actually as a handle, because obviously the miners had dirty hands, and they'd eat all the stuff in the pasty, and they'd be left with this sort of crust, and they could throw that away. Also, someone told us that at one end was like apple, so you have a little sweet as well.
No dessert.
So there you go.
You noticed how, like, over the years we've been doing this, you know, way back when we started XFM, no one ever contributes when we ask about the music, when we ask about hip-hop, or their, you know, opinions on that, anything important. But start talking about pasties.
Yeah.
We've had about 5 phone calls.
Yeah. And someone phoned up to confirm they used to work for Upper Crust, and basically Carl got all excited. So it is true. She went, well, I don't know if it's true. I've read the same sign you did, Carl.
Interestingly, there's an email here that says, which basically offers a history of the baguette, and talks about after the revolution, the government decreed that all of France must eat the same bread, and it was up to the bakers to bake this bread of equality. And then Napoleon kind of made sure it was particular. He kind of set in.
Obviously, on the bread, you can eat anything you find in the garden: frogs, snails, bits of horse,
but
squid.
the interesting thing is, Rick, that there's no mention of sticking it down your trousers whilst going to war.
The French have tried to keep that secret for over 100 years,
it was only
Steve.
the upper crust people.
Nearly 200 years. That is a top secret. Somehow, Euston Station upper crust got hold of a document left behind in an old sea chest, possibly Napoleon's. Could have been Josephine's. Unfortunately, jotted it down. He's kicking himself now. Oh, Secretary, I cannot believe I left a note. If he talked like that.
He did.
He did that, yeah, he talked English, but in a very funny French accent.
Do you remember, there was one thing that, talking about funny French accents, you remember Allo Allo?
Yeah.
Remember, it was on about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but they still meant, because it was a funny Frenchman, it was that English guy who was posing as a French police officer.
It's very complicated.
He would often walk by, and I remember there was one where he said, I was pissing by the door when I heard a shit.
Oh yeah.
Now that's
passing by the door.
I'm allowed to say that.
Passing by the door when I heard a shot.
That's what he's saying. I'm allowed to say that at 2 o'clock because I'm just saying I'm talking in a French accent.
Yeah.
I was pissing by the door when I heard a shit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm speaking French, Carl.
Do you know what I mean?
Radio 2 indeed. You heard the Pogues, Fairy Tale of New York. One of the best Christmas songs ever. I think the best Christmas song ever, and one of the best songs ever.
Absolutely. No, there's no question.
It's brilliant. Do you like that, Carl?
It's alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoying yourself, Carl?
What, being here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, we're getting looked after and that. I can't believe, like, you know, the amount of food and that we've got here. It's mental.
Yeah, mince pies, fruit, it's all going on.
Just like a little harvest festival going on.
Yeah.
Where you take the pineapple chunks for an old lady.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going alright. I mean, I've been sort of listening to Radio 2, you know, the last few weeks, enjoying it and that, and sort of, you know, making sure we get the show right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want it to fit into everybody else's shows and that.
Oh yeah, this fits into everyone else's show.
I've been thinking.
Oh yeah, this is great. This show, this is perfect.
Listen again, of course, on bbc.co.uk/Radio 2.
But something that Wogan does, right, on breakfast, Terry Wogan, right? He does this little thing called Thought of the Day.
Yeah.
And I thought we could carry it on. I've like a little.
What, you're going to do it?
Just have a little thought.
Well, if you ever have a little thought, please tell us, and we'll put it up on the website.
Oh.
You want to do thought for the day?
Yeah. It's a big feature, isn't it? He does it in.
Have you got one? Have you got a thought for the day you want to do, or are you just gonna when I put
Well.
Alright, well, okay, well, no, alright, well, let's have a little jingle. Have a little jingle.
Okay, I don't know what the jingle is, I
know, but just make something up.
Listen to Radio 2, the Ricky Gervais Show, with Thought for the Day, with Karl Pilkington.
Right, well, thanks for having me, right?
Brilliant.
Just like to say, you know, it's Christmas time. Just, you know, cheer someone up, have a laugh with them, make the day and that. So, happy Christmas.
That's it.
That's your thought for the day.
You don't need to mess about. You know what I mean? Just if you can do that today, yeah, I'll add that. If you can do that today, cheer someone up. Right? I
mean, this is quite sweet. Carl is quite sweet. You know, I think I give him, I don't know, not child rights, because children are a lot more intelligent than Carl. I don't know, sort of, I suppose animal rights. No, no. Because they're
no, but it's
well, I mean, you see, the thing is, Wogan normally has on a priest or a rabbi or a thinker, not normally the modern equivalent of, you know, Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah,
so
no, but I've been busy. I haven't got time to. They sort of drag it out. They have like a fable or something, don't they? Cut out all that, right? Because you know they've got a lot of time on their hands when they're
Vickers.
Yeah, just you know when they're in their house.
Well, not Christmas. It's their busy time as well. I'd have thought Christmas Vickers. Do you think they only work Sundays?
Well. Yeah, again, you know, I'm always a bit worried because I don't want to have a go on that, but, you know, they do alright for themselves, they get given that house to live in and that.
No, well, it's the house of God, you don't actually get to keep it.
It's not the house of God, they live next door to the house of God.
Right.
That's the house of the vicar, they usually live, joined
the house of Barrett.
Yeah, the house of Fraser. Yeah. No, the vicar lives in a little vicar's house, little vicarage, and that's usually joined onto the house of God. Yeah. You don't get those addresses mixed up. He doesn't get all God's mail and he's going, ooh, for you again.
Stevie Wonder on Radio 2, I Wish, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
You wish you were Stevie Wonder.
I'd love to be Stevie Wonder.
He's great, isn't he? Well, Karl has started offending everyone, as we thought, but we've got to explain, Karl does, I mean, he honestly means no harm. He does these things
What bit? What for said?
Well, this is from Reverend, Gwyn Owen from Stockwood.
Yeah.
A vicar, okay? When I'm tired of being a vicar and working one day a week, maybe I'll become a DJ and do bugger all a week.
And that's a vicar swearing.
Yeah, you made a vicar swear! That's how infuriated
well, hang on a minute, are! Why does he listen to the radio if he's busy?
He's done you, Reverend.
Oh dear!
Well listen, you know, we're chatting about presents and all that, and before my little thought of the day about...
It was a little thought.
Just, you know, cheer someone up if you can.
Brilliant.
Right?
I mean, it's a nice sentiment, but it's... Yeah, okay, go on.
Well, there's an old woman, right, who lives next door. Who lives next door to my mum and dad, right? And this is what I mean about, you know, the old people. They might not have that many people cheering them up this time of year. So, you know, if you can, get them a little gift and that. Because what happened was, this old woman living next door to my mum and dad.
How old are you?
This was only about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Right? And, you know, I think her son's left home, doesn't keep in touch, you know. Doesn't even phone her, I don't think, and that, right? Quite sad. And, I thought I'll give her a bit of my time, have a chat with her, try and cheer her up and stuff. And, I said, alright, how's it going? She said, yeah, not bad, I need a new, you know, dishwasher, right? I was going, yeah, and she was saying, but I don't get a chance to get out these days, you know, I can't get about like I did. And all that, and I'm going, yeah, it's bad that. Anyway, I go to, like, one of those big superstores where they sell all electrical stuff and that, right? I'm in there, I think, oh, I'll get her a little catalogue so she can have a look, right? Got back, gave her that, I said, there you go, whilst I was in the superstore, get you a little catalogue so you can have a look at dishwashers and that. She's over the moon, she still goes on about it. It was years ago.
What, that you got her a catalogue?
I got her a catalogue.
I thought you said you were going to buy her a dishwasher.
No, just a catalogue and that.
Oh, but your life is sort of like just bittersweet tragedy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like something from Shameless.
I know, but it is though, because you've got in the street and there's people knocking around with big heads and webbed hands and webbed feet. I mean, that must have been.
Well, she's pretty weird. Anyway, this old woman, because she was.
And that's coming from you.
No. Well, after I got her the catalogue and that, she opened up a bit and she was saying how, you know, she's a bit odd anyway, because she woke up one morning with blood sort of falling on her head from a dead rabbit hanging over her. So I mean, she's a nice.
What are you talking about?
No, that's what she went on to. She sort of opened up a bit. And said,
what street? What street were you born in? Where is this place?
Is it Elm Street that you live on?
She just said a man was a witch or something. So it was like,
like normal. Like you said, like it's normal.
Just a bit odd, isn't it? But you know, I mean, but talking about like where I live and all that, right? One story that I've told you before, and everyone's always like, that didn't happen, right? Just a couple of houses sort of down from where I lived, there was this family who had a horse in their house.
They what?
They had like a horse in their house. I'd been out with my dad, right? And I drove back into the. My dad was driving. He went back into the avenue. Sort of went down to the bottom to turn round to get back to our house.
Just via the OK Corral.
Just sort of did a little glance, and I saw this horse being led in. Had a horse in there and stuff.
Well, have you been back to visit your street?
Don't really. There's no.
Why did they have a horse in the house? I don't understand.
I don't know. I think they must have nicked it or something like that. It was a council estate in Manchester, and you know, I've told that story.
They've just been doing a bit of wrestling.
Yeah, they made the horse go in with a hoodie, and they said, "Don't cause suspicion. Yeah, just like, you know, we just pretend it's our long lost brother."
Just pretend we're rehearsing a panto.
Yeah, it's two blokes. It's just two blokes in this horse. Well, that's amazing. The little old lady who gave her a catalogue. That's very sweet. You see that? And it's just a little thought. That's your thought for the day, isn't it? Just cheer someone up. So nip down to Argos. There's free ones stacked up. Go and hand them out to the elderly. They love it.
The Jayhawks on Radio 2, bad time, is it? I think it's called Bad Time. Sorry, we're so distracted by all the questions that come in for
These are great. Thank you so much for emailing and texting. They're brilliant. Here's one from Reverend Rachel Harrison. I'm also a vicar, and I'm making mince pies. We know our demographic now. We got a load of vicars listening.
Yeah, well, you know, they're good at spreading the word and that, aren't they? You know, tell people about the show and stuff.
And also mincemeat, clearly.
So, yeah, all vicars listening, spread the word. Tell them about Karl.
And have a great time tomorrow. It's your special day.
Although does Karl go against creationism or for it? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Would he have evolved, or did something make it?
All I'll say to would God have bothered to— is that in God's image? I mean, that's surely the most blasphemous thing you could say.
Bod made him in his image.
Yeah.
He's made in the image of Bod.
Is he the one who sort of decided?
Who?
God. Are you talking about God or Bod?
God and that.
Okay.
Is he the one who decided that, you know, we should move out of the water and walk on land? Did he decide that, or once he made the little egg, did he sort of go run free? I
don't know where we are. I don't know what part of the.
Could I just say, if there are any vicars out there, could Karl come and do a sermon one day? I mean, we do a big donation to your roof. But can Karl just talk to 5 minutes to a really sort of, like an upper middle class educated parish somewhere, and Karl just comes and talks for 10 minutes.
The only time that a congregation anywhere has heckled the person doing it. Get off!
Yeah, then they're chasing to the castle, carrying pickaxe handles.
Torches.
Karl, we have just had, a communique from Gillian Oliver, who's the communications, director for the Church of England. Yeah. Okay? She wants to take you up on your offer. She would like to take, you, to Manchester and let you give a sermon.
About what?
Well, don't you think that's she's in charge of the press and communications for the Church of England, and you've got to do this, Karl, for my sake. I'll go to church if you do this.
I've been, I didn't really like it. I had to go once to church. It was years ago when I was a kid, and I swore, right? My mate Jamie said, right, if you don't come with me to church, because he was Catholic, he had to go. Right? So if you don't come with me now, I'm going to tell your mum that you swore. And
that's how to get people into church.
So I went, right? Didn't enjoy it. Sort of got kicked out in the end because I was bouncing my tennis ball in the aisle and it rolled down.
I better tell Gillian Oliver that may happen again.
Yes.
That's if you don't take your yo-yo or your Ninja, you've got to do it. I'm gonna make sure, we want a campaign. Please, email us if you want, Karl to do a sermon. And, I'm sure we can film this and put it on the web for you to see. Oh, please do it.